Hey guys, welcome back to my Insecure Season 4 recap. And right now we are on episode 4, Low-Key Losing It. I thought that this episode was somewhat of a tease, a really big tease. People were on social media saying how it was too short, hence why this recap might be shorter than some of my previous ones. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, not every episode can be as exciting as episode 3. The two things that I did like about this episode is the comeback of Bish and Issa's freestyling.
Who the best? It's you. Who gonna kill Issa? I'm sorry, I can't. Not today. Wait, what? I thought you were supposed to be hyping me up. I stay hyping you up, but I got shit going on over here too. And it's real life shit.
We got a taste of Bish in episode 2 with the whole lost condom scene with TSA Bay, but she came back in full effect during episode 4. In this episode, it also looks like Issa is falling short when it comes to her responsibilities. The episode starts off with the water being shut off at her apartment building where she also is the property manager. Then when it comes to all the business with the block party, she's at home faking like she got an office with a secretary.
Issa D's office, please hold. Sorry, that's right. My assistant's kind of a mess. Sapphire, you're a mess.
Then there's CONDOLA, who has her on no answer.
Hi, you've reached CONDOLA. Please leave a message.
And I'm here wondering why CONDOLA wasn't answering. Is it because she went through Lawrence's DMs and saw that Issa was messaging him? Why is she not getting back to her? Issa was even trying to hit up Beyonce on IG when Schoolboy Q, her headliner for the block party, canceled on her.
Her desperation was serious.
Through all her misfortune though, it was nice to see that Nathan reached out to her randomly just to see how she was doing with the block party.
Oh, Issa, it's Nathan. I know it's been a minute, but Andrew told me about your block party. That's dope. You really doing it.
Maybe he'll have power in helping her with the block party and finding a headliner, especially since he's like best friends with Andrew, Molly's Asian bae, who happens to work at Live Nation. Will Nathan be back this season? Speaking of Molly and Andrew, in my opinion, I feel like they really tried hard in this episode to make it seem like they've been dating for a while now.
We're not in the honeymoon phase anymore.
They were trying so hard to the point where it was kind of corny. And as for Molly not wanting him to see her with rollers in her hair, honey, if he hasn't seen you like that or smelt the real funk that is you, then this is not a real relationship yet. You are not in the thick of it yet. And how about Molly trying to compare her relationship with Andrew to Tiffany and Derek's marriage?
Like with me and Andrew, when I am struggling, he is there for me at any hour. That's how you build a long-lasting relationship.
I was kind of with Issa on that one.
Oh, damn, Jada. I see you out here red table talking.
This episode is really also highlighting how Molly's work schedule can be an obstacle in her relationship with Andrew.
I'm worried that our schedules aren't compatible.
Yes, it is probably kind of messed up that Molly bailed on her plans with Andrew to stay late with her coworkers to work on a project. However, shouldn't he also understand since he too has a demanding job? Also, Molly clearly makes time for him despite being super busy at her job. For example, after finishing some paperwork for her job, she woke Andrew up to give him some good old loving. Okay, then she set some time aside to have date night with Andrew, which he cut short to hang out with Seth and the boys.
I thought that was silly.
Overall, visually, I love seeing them together, but I still don't think it's gonna last. Like I said in the episode 2 recap, I think Molly will ultimately end up with her coworker Torian. Now let's move on to the tension between Molly and Issa that continues in episode 4. The parking space scene really pissed me off. That was Issa's spot. I really think Molly punked Issa out of that spot.
How you let me have a spot that was already mine?
And then Molly just stays being passive aggressive at Tiffany's house. And then you have Molly and Issa both asking Kelly and Tiffany about each other instead of just going directly to the source. I thought that was very immature.
Has Molly said something to you? Did Issa say something to you?
But very relatable because, you know, with a group of girls, that tends to happen. And during all of that, did she say something about me questioning, why did Kelly assume that Issa slept with Andrew?
Okay. You fucked Andrew.
Like, I feel like everybody's always thinking the worst in Issa, especially Molly. Molly was judging Issa for talking to Lawrence outside of Tiffany and Derek's house. Then when Issa and Lawrence left around the same time, Molly's thinking that they're both up to no good, when that's not even the case. Even when Molly found out that Issa's headliner dropped out of the block party, Molly assumed that it had to be because of Issa doing something wrong. When Issa called Molly to ask her if she can ask Andrew to see if he can get a headliner for her block party, I thought it was so rude that Issa just started off with that from the bat. Like, she didn't even want to hear how Molly was doing, and clearly Molly was ready to vent to her and like confide in her friend.
Damn, sorry, girl. Well, this will just take a second.
How are you goes a long way, Issa, especially when you need a favor, girl. I just feel like Issa had no finesse whatsoever. If she took the time to listen, she would have found out that they were both going through it. That could have been common ground that they had, and Molly could have been more empathetic when it came to helping her. However, I do feel like it's also messed up how Molly agreed to ask Andrew and then later on changed her mind. That to me was not being a woman of her word. She knew she didn't want to do it from the jump, so she should have just said no from the beginning instead of giving Issa false hope. Issa could have really spent that time looking for another option. And when they were on the phone and Molly knew she was going to let Issa down, instead of telling her right away, she let Issa hype her up right before giving her the blow.
You're my best friend. You take good care of me. I will murder for you. Friends is not that lonely. Can you let me finish?
I thought that was so dirty. Part of me still understands where Molly is coming from though. Like, this is a new relationship. I'm sure she wouldn't want business to impact her relationship with Andrew, especially, you know, she's more so used to Issa, like, not successfully finishing something she starts, right? So she doesn't even know how this block party is going to turn out. So it's almost like, should I risk my relationship, my budding relationship, to help a friend who hasn't been 100% reliable in the past? When Lawrence was with Derek while he was watching the baby, Derek says something very deep about him having a baby girl.
Men do fucked up shit, and every woman is a daughter.
I really hope the men who watch this show take into serious consideration what he said so that they're more empathetic when they run across the next girl whose lives they want to interrupt. I hope that they choose to interrupt those lives with nothing but positivity. You know, like being a blessing to someone's daughter and not a burden. Tiffany and Derek's relationship shows that it's possible for Black people to do it the right way, and I love that.
Actually, Derek's been great. I couldn't even do this without him.
After the way Tiffany said she was treated in the hospital, I'm pretty sure she meant that. She said she felt like she was going to pass out at the hospital, and when she told medical personnel, they didn't believe her. They didn't do anything. And then later on, come to find out, she had a blood clot. This type of stuff often happens to pregnant women of color in hospitals. As for Lawrence and Issa, what the heck did he have to tell her? That he broke up with CONDOLA and he wants to try to be with her again? Like, what can it be? Besides Molly and Issa not hashing it out, Lawrence and Issa's talk that never was is why I think this episode is a major tease. Hopefully they don't leave us hanging too much in episode 5, but we will see.